Hey guys, it's your bro Richie Rich here. Today in this video, it is now part 4 on the Chevrolet Corvette. So part 4 on the Chevy Corvette. Today in this video, I'm in the fourth generation Corvette, the C4. It's the C4 from 1984 from 1984 to 1996. So you want a C4 Corvette, not as an explosive device, so not as an explosive device, but as the model, the C4 Corvette. So before I start, make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you are alerted of when I make new uploads. And also, before I start, I'm getting quite close to 400 subscribers. If we can get to that mark, please, that would be great. And after that, 500 subscribers is the next step of the progress. But I gotta work hard to get there, to get to that kind of stage. I mean, I came so far, like, this is just brilliant. So if we can get up to that stage, that'll be great, in tip-top shape. That'll make things better in no time at all. No time. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get started. So the fourth gen Corvette C4 from 1984. So from 1984 to 1996. So here we go. The fourth gen Corvette was the first complete redesign of the Corvette since 1963. Production was to begin for the 1983 model 1983 model year, but quality issues and part delays resulted in only 43 prototypes for the 1983 model year produced. Wait, I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna reset. So the fourth gen Corvette was the first complete redesign. So complete redesign. Complete redesign of the Corvette since 1963. Production was to begin for the 1963 model year, but quality issues and part delays resulted in only 43 prototypes for the 1983 model year produced that were never sold. All of the 1983 prototypes were either destroyed or serialized as the 1984 model year, except one with a white exterior, medium blue interior, a 5.7 liter L83 V8. All the 1983 prototypes were either destroyed or serialized as the 1984 model year, except one with a white exterior, medium blue interior, and a 5.7 liter L83 V8, making 205 horsepower and a 4-speed automatic gearbox. After both extensive testing and modifications, after testing and mods were completed, it was initially retired as a display sitting in an external wall over the Bowling Green assembly plant's employee entrance. Later this only surviving 1983 prototype was removed, restored, and put on display at the National Corvette Museum. So at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's still owned by GM, General Motors. On February 12th, 2014, 2 days before Valentine's Day at that time period. So yeah, on February 12th, 2014 or 2014, it was nearly lost to a sinkhole which opened up under the museum. 8 other Corvettes were severely, that's right, 8, this is a true story, 8 other Corvettes were severely damaged. Now I know this one because of Top Gear. They talked about like the museum of like cars and whatnot, and there was one at the Corvette museum. Like one picture showed the location Corvette museum, and it said the Corvette museum, and it showed some great models there, like C2s, like C1, C2, like C3, C4 Corvettes, possibly C5. And also the other picture showed a couple of the Corvettes into the sinkhole now, and that's just cruel, like cruel to even see that. Like, that's like the worst part in the world. I mean, as a Corvette enthusiast, well, when I say enthusiast, I mean fan. As a Corvette fan, I hate seeing the cars in the sinkhole. It's just, it's painful to see that. Seriously, that is true. Like, it's a true fact. So on February 12th, 2014, it was nearly lost to a sinkhole which opened up under the museum. 8 other Corvettes were severely damaged. Regular 4th gen production began on the 3rd of January 1983. The 1984 model year and the 1984 model year and delivery to customers began in March 1983. The 1984 model carried over the 5.7 liter L83 Crossfire V8 engine from the final 1982 3rd gen model, which made slightly more horsepower, like 5 extra horsepower. I mean, it's not much, but it's a bit of an increase. So that was from the final 1982 3rd gen version. New chassis features were aluminum brake calipers and an all-aluminum or aluminium suspension for both weight savings and rigidity. The new one-piece targa top had no center reinforcement. Retractable headlights continued to be used, but became single units, which were last used in 1957. A new electronic dashboard with digital liquid crystal displays for both the speedometer and tachometer was standard. Beginning in 1985, the 230 horsepower L98 engine with tuned port fuel injection became the standard engine. September 1984 through 1988 Corvettes were available with a 4x3 transmission designed by Doug Nash, a 4-speed automatic coupled to an automatic overdrive on the top 3 gears. I don't understand that kind of technique, but well, don't even know how it works. It was devised to help the Corvettes meet U.S. fuel economy standards. So it was devised to help the Corvette meet U.S. fuel economy standards. Since 1981, when it was last offered, a manual gearbox returned to the Corvette, starting with production in late 1984, almost up to 1985. The gearbox proved to be problematic and was replaced by a modern ZF 6-speed manual. So 6-speed manual in 1989. Let's go almost at the end of the late 80s and almost the start of the very early 90s. In 1986, the second Corvette Indy Pace car was released. It was the first convertible Corvette since 1975. A CHMSL, which is a center high-mounted signal light, which is a third center brake light, was added in 1986 to comply with safety regulations. While the color of the pace car used in the race was yellow, all 1986 convertibles also had an Indy 500 emblem mounted on a console, making any color a pace car edition. In 1987, the B2K twin turbo option became available from the factory. The Callaway Corvette was a regular production option, also known as the RPO B2K. The B2K option coexisted in both 1990 and 1991, so the start of the very early 90s, with the 01 option, which then replaced it. Early B2Ks produced 345 horsepower and 610 newton meters, 450 pound-feet of torque. Well, that's pretty good. Later versions boosted still the same 450. Well, no, same. Sorry. So later versions boosted 450 horsepower. So that's good, and 831 newton meters, 613 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty good. Out of those two, I would go with either 345 or 450 horsepower. I take 450 horsepower because I would love to go fast. For me, 450 horsepower would be perfect. Anyways, 1988 saw the 35th anniversary. So 1988 saw the 35th anniversary edition of the Corvette. Each of these featured a special badge with an identification number mounted. Next to the gear selector, and was finished with a white exterior, wheels, and interior. In 1990, the 01 option Corvette was introduced with the LT5 engine, designed by Lotus and built in the Mercury Marine plant in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So it's a place called, built in the Mercury Marine plant in the place called Stillwater in Oklahoma. The LT5 engine was a 4-cam dual HC dual overhead cam design, producing 375 horsepower. So 375 horsepower when at open throttle. The C4 01 ran from 1990 through 1995 model years. In 1991, all Corvettes received updates to the body, interior, and wheels. the convex rear fascia. So the convex rear the convex rear fascia. So the convex rear fascia that sets the 1990 apart from the base model. So from the base model was included on L98. So L98 Corvettes, making the styling of the expensive 01 even closer to that of the base cars. The most obvious difference remaining between both the base and the 01 models, besides the wider rear wheels, so the wider rear wheels, was the location of the CHMSL, which was integrated into the new rear fascia used on the base model, but remained at the top of the rear hatch on the 01s. For the 1992 model year, the 300 horsepower LT1 engine. So 300 horsepower LT1 engine. So 300 horsepower LT1 engine was introduced, an increase of 50 horsepower over the 1991's L98 engine. This engine featured reverse flow cooling. The heads were cooled before the block, which allowed for a higher compression ratio of 10.5 to 1. So 10.5 to 1. So 10.5 to 1. Or 10.5 to 1 to be a little easier. A new distributor was also debuted called OptiSpark. The distributor was driven directly off the front of the camshaft and mounted in front of the timing cover, just above both the crankshaft and the harmonic balancer. Also new for 1992 was ASR, acceleration slip regulation. So ASR, acceleration slip regulation. So acceleration slip regulation. a form of traction control that utilized the Corvette's brakes, spark ignition or whatever, a throttle close down to prevent excessive rear wheel spin. So rear wheel spin and possible loss of control. The traction control device could be switched off if desired. A special 40th anniversary edition was released in 1993, which featured a commemorative ruby red color. So a commemorative ruby red color, 40th anniversary badges, and embroidered seat backs. The 1993 Corvette also marked the introduction of the passive keyless entry. So the PKES, which is passive keyless entry system, making it the first GM car to feature. it. Production of the 01 ended in 1995 after 6,939 cars had been built. 1996 was the final year of C4 production, and featured both special models and options, including the Grand Sport and Collector Edition, OBD2, which is onboard diagnostics 2, run flat tires, and the LT4 engine. So the LT4 V8 engine, the 330 horsepower LT4 V8 was available only with a manual gearbox, while all 300 horsepower LT1 Corvettes used automatic gearboxes, really. Chevy released the Grand Sport, or GS version, in 1996, to mark the end. To mark the end of production of the C4 Corvette, the Grand Sport nickname was a nod to the original Grand Sport model, produced in 1963. A total of 1,000 GS Corvettes were produced. So a total of 1,000 GS Corvettes were produced. 810 as coupes or coupes, and 190 as convertibles or cabriolets, as you call it. The 1996 GS came with the high performance LT4 V8, producing 330 horsepower and 460 newton-meters, 340 pound-feet of torque. The Grand Sport came only in Admiral Blue, with a white stripe down the middle. Black tires. The Grand Sport came only in Admiral Blue, with a white stripe down the middle. So with a white stripe down the middle, black wheels, and 2 red stripes on the front left wheel arch. Okay. So that'll be it. For my next Corvette video, will be about the 5th generation Chevy Corvette, the C5, from 1997. Say 1997 to 2004. So say again. So for my next Corvette video, will be about the 5th generation Corvette, the C5. So the C5 from 1997. Say 1997 to 2004. So that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you are alerted when I make new uploads. So hit all so you are alerted when I make new uploads. Alright. That'll be it. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, folks. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.